Welcome to our continuation of the journey to the carnivore-ish and keto lifestyle. My name is Aaron. I am the carnivore-ish guy. Welcome to my channel. So the number one thing that I said when starting this journey was knowing your why. That is what I want to talk about tonight. That is what is most important, is to understanding why you're doing this. For me, I wanted to see my kids grow up. I wanted to see them get older. That was the big thing for me. I didn't want to leave my kids, when they're in their late teens, early 20s. I want to be there for them growing up. That was my number one reason to do this, and that's a forever reason. That's never going to stop me from continuing to live a proper human diet lifestyle. That's my biggest why. Yeah, I have other whys. I want to lose weight. I was 240 pounds almost when I started this journey last April in 2025. Now, I'm about 168 pounds. I've lost a lot of weight. I wanted to get off my type 2 diabetic medications, my metformin. I am now off those medications. So I had many whys. You need to find the one why to really motivate you to get you going, and that's going to be sustainable. As I said, you should have a number one, but you should also have a backup just in case. If your number one why is I want to lose weight, that's fantastic. When you lose the weight that you want to lose, what's your next reason to continue this? Because you need to have a reason to continue. You don't want to be like, I'm off my meds. I just lost all the weight I wanted. Now I can go back to eating a standard American diet. That's not going to work. You need to have a backup plan. You need a secondary reason. My number one reason was to see my kids grow up. Maybe be a grandparent one day. That's never going to leave me. That is never going to leave me. So, what else did I have? I wanted to lose weight. And to get my number one why, I needed to lose weight. I needed to reverse my type 2 diabetes. Maybe you don't have children. Maybe you just want to live a long life. That's a good enough reason. How are you going to get there? Is your why to lose weight? That's fantastic. Is your why to get off medications? That is great. Do you have thyroid issues? You are trying to have children and you're struggling to have children. There could be any number of reasons, but find that why, write it down, remember it, put it somewhere where you're going to see it. Because there's going to be times when you're doubting what you're doing. Can I just continue this? Can I, give up the pasta, the rice, the high carbohydrate foods, the chocolate? And that's when you're struggling and you're doubting yourself, you need to look to that reason why you're doing this. The sacrifice you're making, what is that ultimate reason? And that's what's going to keep you motivated to go through. There were times when I wasn't interested in continuing. I didn't want to keep just eating ground beef, bacon, eggs. As great as they are, you kind of get a burnout. But that's when I looked at my reasons. I was tired of being overweight. I was tired of taking medications. I was tired of feeling the way I did. So I went to my number one why, which was my family and my kids. And then I went to my sub-whys, the weight, the medications, the diabetes. This is all going to help me reach my ultimate goal of seeing my children grow up. So please, when you're starting this, have your why, write it down, have it somewhere where you can remember it. So that way, when you have doubts, when you're not sure that it's working, you still have that focus, that end game that'll keep you motivated. As always, my name is Aaron. I am the carnivore-ish guy. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and hit that bell icon. And as always, if you do slip up along your journey, whatever stage of the journey you're in. Just accept what you did, forgive yourself of it, and let it go. Tomorrow's a new day. As always, thank you very much. There'll be more videos to come in this series. Enjoy the weekend.